Hi, everybody. Welcome to another session with Knowledge Hub. Today's topic is development support communication. As we discussed in the previous class, development journalism. In today's class, we will discuss about what is development support communication and why is it important. It is a basic purpose of development support communication is aimed at purposive change. What is purposive change? A change that you are intentionally planning to bring for the improvement of the socio-economic conditions of the people. Like there are so many people who are suffering with their economical background or social background. They're not able to earn the required money in a to fulfill their needs of the day. So such kind of people required some purposive change. So they have to be guided properly, they have to be provided good way to achieve the better quality of life by improving their socio-economic conditions. Now here it is also considered as a systematic use of communications, human communications. So people who are knowledgeable about things like how to improve socio-economic conditions, good policies, programs that have been taken up by the government or by the NGOs or any initiatives which are required for the rural people to understand, those kind of communication has to be taken up by the in a systematic way to motivate them, persuade the specific group of people. Here the specific group of people are the people who require this knowledge and the improving their standard of living by bringing change in their habits, lifestyle, thought pattern. So there will be certain beliefs, superstitious beliefs that we mostly find in a country like India, where people do not accept change so easily and they don't like to change their lifestyle also. If they come from a traditional means of methods of production to technological production, their income will increase, their productivity will increase. Things like this have to be told to them and motivated to them to take up, so that the expected change comes in the society. So that's what we said, a purposive change to bring up the socio-economic conditions. The aim of the development support communication, this is an important point that you have to remember, is about, here we are talking about the aim. Aim of any aspect in life is plays a very important role. Why the aim of a development support communication is an important thing for all of us is that the aim of development support communication is just not to bring development but also make a utilization of mass media. So utilization of mass media plays a key role in society, and media motivates people a lot. So mass media and other available communication means, communication these days plays an important role in the society, and everything today is run because of the way communication is playing its role in the society for modernization of specific segments of society towards the particular change. So we the society today, what we are seeing is not the same thing that was there earlier, right? Every time people lifestyle, the culture, the modernization is happening because of the kind of content that we are consuming from the mass media. We are watching many films, we are seeing many television serials, we imitate them, we imitate the favorite stars, we dress up like them. That is the effect that media has on our psychology. And there are many studies also that have proved that it has a tremendous influence on the mindsets of the people. So that is the one best way to utilize to bring the positive change in the society that we are expecting for. Now, the development support communication is a multi-dimensional function of a information sharing for planned actions. So information sharing for a planned actions. So you have a lot of information, you have a lot of information to give it to this set of people, specific set of people. They need a lot of information. Okay, this information has to be shared with this specific set of people, but at the same time it has to be shared in a planned manner. It's just not that you go and talk to them and you think your job is done. No, you have to give step by step. And how do you do that? You have to bring out certain action plan and programs which can give that expected results. Now let us look at the functions and role of development support communication. The both informal and informal channels of communication, this is included. The the expected development support communication can be provided in a formal way and even non-formal channels also. It is integrated approach for development for communication activities on various aspects like medicine, education, rural entrepreneurs, enterprises, and also agriculture. The major chunk of information that people require in country like India is of course related with agriculture, because majority of the people are dependent on agriculture. At the same time, health is another important area, so medicine comes under that, and education is another important area, and also enterprises, rural enterprises, because even in the village areas there's so much of business that can be generated. So for the related with all these aspects, it is important that DSC play a key role. The ICT supports the DSC program in developing countries which achieve the goal. So ICT here means the definitely the information and communication technologies. How do you use them to reach the targets of the development support communication? That is what we are going to see even in the slides that we have right now. Population and family welfare. In many countries, communication support programs involve the population in communication. So, for checking, yes, for checking the population growth, DSC programs gave favorable results, right? So population is an important area. Why we have to talk population is an important area is because you see, we have discussed in the previous class also. Immediately after the independence, what was the major concern for the majority of the people in India? That is the ruling party is the population that is there, high population that is there in the country, and less resources. Okay, less resources. So how to utilize these less resources for the high population? So there it has come into the picture to bring an a program plan which includes the communication that supports the development. So this needs to give a good results to achieve the goals. Okay, so the communication, the population communication based on the plans and strategies for promoting mainly reproductive health, okay, adolescent behavior, controlling infections and diseases through medicine, controlling fertility rate, and providing medical services to the child and the mother. So when you talk about population and family welfare, these are the major aspects that come into the picture, and you have to keep them in your mind when the communication process of population control comes into the picture. These are the key areas that needs to be taken care of, and these are the areas which actually determine the quality of the life also. Because if you have a good healthy birth, right, quality of the life of that particular person will be good, they will be healthy, and their productivity also will be there in a good manner, and so that they can earn at a better way. So population was the first criteria that was recognized by the DSC to look at and give promotion. Yes. The communication activities in support to the HIV/AIDS prevention in many countries are based on the multi-dimensional and multi-sectoral strategies. So today we are suffering with a major problem, that is the pandemic COVID-19. But when the initial stages of recognition of development support communication has emerged, that was this is a major disease that was there in the country, and there were so many people who were dying with this. We suffered a lot with this disease also in our country. There was a lot of awareness campaigns that have been conducted by the governments at that point of time to prevent these conditions, and like that people have suffered a lot during that time when this disease has emerged. Countries have adopted a good strategy, multimedia and multi-sectoral strategies, to overcome this problem and give good awareness among the people. A variety of opportunities, efforts of media available in areas of health communication is very, very important. Health communication is a major area where you can look for uh, a kind of a DSC. DSC is nothing but, as I said, you development support communication. What is development? Health sector development is a development. economic sector development is important, social sector development. All these sectors together is called as a development, and any communication that supports this development is nothing but the development support communication. ICT enables applications that encourage wider diffusion of information related with the health in the formal way, that is community health workers or informal sources, was highly encouraged due to promote the health sector in the country. Nakasiki Tele in the Vivo project, where Nakasiki Hospital was linked with Mulago Hospital in Portugal, Spain, and Kazakhstan. The telemedicine facilitated information shared between the health practitioners in hospitals involved in project. So this is one of the project where government of Uganda has identified ICT as a key for the modernization and the development. So you can see modernization and the development. Government of Uganda. This is one of the case study which I'm discussing here with the government of Uganda as an example, has taken up the first initiative towards the ICT as a key for modernization and development of country. It has applied the ICTs in various sectors, especially with the health applications. That's what we can see as a case study. Teleconsultations. So what did they do is like, the doctors were at one end with the, teleconnected connectivity, and the patients were at another end. Okay, this was in somewhere 1970s time. And they used to, get the consultancies from the so and so hospital, and the doctors who were there in the another country in the another place used to monitor the people with the systems that are available, and they used to check the cases and give a good understanding whatever is the prescription required for them. Mulago and Butabika hospitals in relation to psychiatry. Yeah. So here, patients were enabled to consult the doctors via telephone and internet. So this is the beauty of this, project that we are talking over here. Uh, this was a long backstory, but you can still see the kind of a technology how they used. The doctors were connected to the patients with the help of telephone and internet, and they used to, treat them people with the help of the internet. Tele-education, where health information can be shared through the television, radio, world-space digital radio technology in interactive multimedia like email and teleconferencing. So they have used all possible technology that is required to provide the health information to the remotest areas with the help of the telephone and the internet. And the doctors in the community was connected. And this is a kind of a successful story with the help of ICT the government of Uganda could establish. So this is one of the case study. DSC in education. I've told you earlier about how DSC is helpful in population control. How was DSC used in the health sector? Now let us understand how DSC is used in the education sector. Education is one of the main key in economic development. Why and how? This is the two questions that you have to understand. One is because if everybody in the society is educated, definitely the economy will go, because everybody will get the employment, so as the people will come out of the below poverty line, and then the economy will boost. So improvement of human welfare. So if you have money, you will have money to put for your betterment. You buy good houses, maintain your surroundings neatly, and other things. So with education, you are just not only gaining the education, you are also gaining an economic development, and also your health and lifestyle also will change. So there are so many things that are connected with education. Now, in the third world countries, education is one of the key indicator of human development. So countries like India, we definitely have to play key role to the education. So that's why there were so many campaigns that have been taken up to give education for both the child, whether it's a girl or a boy, in a country like India, where majority of the women are not provided with education. Most of the time, men are given priority for the education. So in our country, the education was required to be treated equally for all the genders, and also it's a key factor for the human development. And shortage of qualified school teachers. What happens if you don't have educated people in the society? It's difficult to run schools, it's difficult to run universities, it's difficult to run the any colleges. So you require good teachers also to run the good achieve the good educational system. Scarcity of books and teaching materials. So these are the certain obstacles that the country like India, which are third world countries, are facing. People live in a scattered communities in the rural areas. So majority of them don't believe in sending their children for education, because what they believe is that if their child is getting some income with the daily labor as a child labor, that is filling their stomach rather than the education. That's what they feel. They think about today more than about tomorrow. Improving the quality of education, access wider range of teaching material resources, and making teaching more effective. The investment in ICT is very important. As you all know, today we are living with, the world is living with only ICT, online education, kind of an ICT that has now made the educational sector at least to survive to some extent. Of course, it is quite difficult to have online educations, but that is the only way now left for us. Now, there are so many government schools and colleges the government is not able to run, because the children in the rural areas do not have a facility of a mobile phone also to attend the classes. So for them, the TRS government had announced one method where they will broadcast the classes in the Doordarshan channel and all that. But how many of them have watched them? And the teacher student interaction was definitely not there in the online classes platforms like Zoom and WebEx and all that. You at least have a possibility to look at the child, but in the tele lessons it's quite difficult. So ICT is a very important tool that I think people must have now realized when situations like this come, the importance of how important the technology we will understand. This will result to reading more number of students without increasing in the cost, and also improve productivity of the education system. Education system is a key sector for the entire development, is because people should be knowledgeable. If they are knowledgeable in any circumstance, they can survive. So that is provided only by the education to reach the student's household at the lowest cost. The world otherwise to be entitled. The ICTs in education give lower cost wider access to the information. ICT in distance learning. Indonesia made extensive use of ICT to deliver distance education. By right. By the end of the 2021, without 30,000 to 1,800 secondary schools were connected to the internet. So this was in 2001. Okay, you just have a look at here the year that I'm, highlighting, because 2001 means long, long back. But at the same time, they made the schools connected with the internet. Now we are in 2021. Okay, so how many years difference is there between both of them, you see. And today we are struggling to have education with internet. Children are not adjusting with the online education. The country is building a program of distance learning established in the 1984, the University of Terubuka, now which now have 350,000 children students. So the University of Indonesia estimated that by 25 to 2005, 30% of 38,000 students involved in distance education. So they have given a lot of importance to the distance education in that year. And from 2001 to 2005, they wanted to gradually improve the number. So now we are in 2020 and 21, forced to take the technology, but there were times where other countries were trying to give this voluntarily, because online education is something that that can be successful only if the listener has that interest towards learning. If it is a force, definitely it's not going to get into the head of these children. But if it is out of interest, they will learn a lot, because technology can give you the best of the best output if you utilize it in a proper way. Proshika's development support communication. This is another a case study that you can take. Proshika in Bangladesh works on development support communication. It's an NGO. Okay, it is an NGO that is working for a development support communication, largely related to electronic communication activities. So this is actually working on which category? It is mostly working on the electronic communications activities. By providing audio-visual communication support impact the country for providing widespread literacy. So to make people educated with the help of audio-visual means was the method that is being chosen by them, and the communication technologies to provide the film, TV, TV spots and serials on various developmental issues. Now you see, even in India also we have a good example of something like Site Experiment or Keda Experiment, where programs were made, serials, TV serials were made on women, related women issues, related child issues, and people used to love watching them and gain the knowledge at the same time, and also got the awareness also. So that was designed even in Bangladesh. This is another case study that you can say. These audio and video materials are broadcast on national radio and TV channels for awareness building and sensitizing the development plan of policymakers and commonness, and also even the common masses. So here, these are the programs that have been taken up by the another case study that you can mention about the development support communication. I think now you must have understood what the development support communication actually focuses upon. It focuses on the global experience that what we have studied now in effectiveness of mass communication. So a communication that supports the development, and you can achieve that with the help of mass media and mass communication, which rectified the challenges of development plans and programs. So every government has, whether it is a country like Indonesia, Uganda, or India, or whatever country, every country has its own development plans and programs. Those plans and programs, how effectively media can take it to the people, is nothing but the best way of communication. The same can implement in the social activities like controlling pollution, better medical services, and health and education dissemination, the education services, and the environment management. So these all are the areas where DSC is needed and was working very well. There's so many case studies. Out of that, some have been discussed with you. I hope you like this session. We will meet with all of you in another interesting session. Thank you all.